There are many questions that keep me up at night to the wee hours of the morning, whiling away into existential lines of thought that no therapist could ever possibly untangle. Such questions as, what is the meaning of life? Why are we here? What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Will I ever unbox a knife so that One Pixel will finally notice me, despite the fact that I've been trying since Cases came out? It's these types of thoughts that will just continue to bolster the everlong sense of ennui. It is in the darkest depths of my cortex that we find the question that has been ailing me so much that we find ourselves here making a video. And that is, when the are we nerfing the auto shotty? That's right, motherfucker. We're here today to finally tackle the biggest question in the history of Counter-Strike, and that's not when the next operation is coming, and that's whether or not shotguns are actually overpowered. Because you ask one half of the player base, and no one ever uses them. You ask the other half of the player base, and they're fucking sick of seeing them. I happen to exist right at the exact middle point, where I understand the power and the strength of shotguns, as well as their drawbacks, and I just use them to have this weird concept called fun. So today, we're going to go in depth on what shotguns are viable, what shotguns are not, and whether or not some shotguns are in fact broken. So that sounds interesting to you, make sure you guys take a second, leave a like on this video, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. All those things help out massively in the YouTube algorithm, and that helps this channel continue to grow. Also, follow me on Twitch, god damn it, I'm almost at 200 followers, and if you are the 200th follower, guess what you get? A limited edition special prize called Nothing, except the satisfying gratification of helping me continue to grow on that platform. So please do so. I stream almost every night at 8:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, twitch.tv/LionHeartZ13337, linked in the description down below. Let's get into the video. Now, I'm sure a question that is floating around your tiny little mind right now is, Lion, if shotguns are so good and broken, how come I never see pro player use them? And honestly, that's a pretty fair question. So I did some research, I did some digging, and I have an idea as to why you don't see more pro players using stuff like the Auto Shotty or the Nova in their matches. So I'm going to make a comparison, as I often do, to basketball. Now, the three-point shot was in basketball for a very long time before the Golden State Warriors and Steph Curry showed just how lethal it could be, and they started a revolution that changed how basketball was played forever. But before that, it's not like there weren't good three-point shooters or even great three-point shooters. There were. There are various great three-point shooting teams and individuals through NBA history up until that point, but there hadn't been a big breakthrough where the majority of the league was shooting three-point shots at the volume that they do now today. And that was because a team hadn't proven that it could be successful at the championship level until the Warriors. Once you see that breakthrough and you see title potential out of something, then the metagame can shift, and that's what happened, and that's what started the three-point revolution in basketball. Now, to bring it back to Counter-Strike, I think shotguns are really good. Some of them might even be broken. However, the room for experimentation at the pro level is a lot less than experimentation in just your average everyday game. So to me, there are three major things that are holding back pros from experimenting more with stuff like this in the current meta, and that's risk, randomness, and rigidity. Obviously, using shotguns come with risk compared to other things in the meta. SMGs are quite strong and do a lot of similar things that the shotguns do in terms of spacing in the game. So you get to the highest level, every single pro is very, very good mechanically at aiming and clicking on heads, so at that point, why would you use an SMG over a potentially random weapon like shotguns? Going on to the next point, you have RNG. Shotgun damage is inconsistent, so if you can't 100% guarantee those kills in those duels, you're a lot less likely to take it over something you could potentially be lethal with, like an SMG. And finally, in terms of rigidity, it's just kind of how it goes when you get to the professional level, that pros like things to stay the same. It's very hard to break through in a big way with something new when pros practice their same strats, their same plays over and over to the point of perfection. It's hard to get them to move and get out of their comfort zone. But here's the thing, and as I've been painfully aware of for most of my life, I am not in fact simple. I am just the humble pleb, and so are you. And that means we have a lot more opportunity to abuse something like shotguns. So we've done a lot of pomp and circumstance up until this point. What makes shotguns so strong currently in CS2? Well, in the transition from CSGO, shotguns received a lot of universal buffs, including increased damage fall-off range, the ability to penetrate thin walls, and adjustments to spread on both the XM and the Nova. You couple that with what was already inherently strong about shotguns, and that's their extremely high kill reward to cost ratio, And now, suddenly, shotguns are very lethal and very viable in the right situations. Now let's talk about the big dog in the room and by far the most screamed about weapon in the game, and that's the auto shotty. Now the auto shotty is a really cool piece of game design where the Valve decided to make a medium range fully automatic op that you barely have to aim that can chain kill a whole team in seconds and net you roughly $75 million in cash. I see no problems with this. Simply put, the accuracy of the XM is incredible. If you aim upper chest or even just aim head like you would with a pistol or a rifle and you get those dinks, the damage fall off is in such a way that you can 2 and 3 shot full armor players from absurd distances. If you start peak shotting this like a deagle, you are going to be so lethal, so annoying, and so frustrating to deal with. And there's not much the enemy team could do because of your damage output. It's just that insane. Now this may be controversial to say, but I think the lethality of the XM is fine if it wasn't for its disproportional kill reward. Getting $800 per kill is extreme for arguably one of the most powerful weapons in the game. We had the same issue with one of the most powerful weapons in the game for a very long time in the P90, where the P90 would outclass pretty much most subs and some rifles, while also netting you the same kill reward as every other SMG in the game, effectively making the choice meaningless if you had enough money to purchase the P90, because why would you bother with the other SMGs when the P90 does everything better with no drawbacks? So Valve changed it. The P90 now gives basically no reward on kill, making the choice purely about its lethality, not for generating economy, which is the point of other SMGs. So this might honestly be a hot take. I think the XM can be as strong as it is now if it had the gutted kill reward like the P90 does. I think that would justify it, as now, when you think about buying the P90, you buy it because it's a super strong weapon, not because it makes money. So the XM could be in a similar space, and I think this would reduce the usage. Because right now, not only is the XM feeling disproportionately strong, it also gives you disproportionate money to everything in the game short of a knife kill. That's too many bonuses, whereas now we take one of those bonuses away, giving you a strong weapon option that has drawbacks. And, even better, going on to my next point, it leaves room for the Nova to shine as one of the best eco weapons in the game. And I think that'd be really, really interesting for the meta. Because in an ideal world, the Nova is the balanced shotgun. It doesn't have an extreme range, but it still has more range than it used to. It has a great kill reward to justify its already really low price tag, and if you play it right, it can be very, very lethal. And if you're not aware of just how cool and strong the Nova is right now, I turn no further than to my own brother Wolfmas, and every single time me and him boot up Premiere on my stream, link in the description, he goes crazy with the Nova at least once per night. Roll the clip. Oh, goddamn it. I wasn't looking.
Dude, it's fine, man. Honestly, it's fine. It was hilarious.
Happens to the best of us.
You're a legend! Make out with me! That was actually so crazy to me. Oh my god, how did you do that? How did you do that?
I feel like this guy found your stream.
Who are you?
I feel like this guy found your stream 100%. He's just laying it on right now so hard.
So if you can learn and master the intricacies of the Nova, I think the Nova opens up a lot of interesting opportunities in the current economic state. We talked in a recent video that did very well, thank you guys, about how the CT Force meta is evolving after pistol losses, and the Nova fits into this Force buy meta really well because you can buy a Nova and armor for $2,050. That's an extremely cheap loadout that can net you $800 per kill and do some lethal things in the right hands. Is it consistent? Nah, not really. Shotguns are what they are. But the Nova is just strong enough and is so dirt cheap that even getting one kill almost justifies the purchase, which is insane. So now we come back to the crux of the video. Are shotguns overpowered? Yes and no. I think there is a fair case that the XM is too powerful for everything it provides. Therefore, it should get some kind of lethality nerf or a nerf to the generation of money. I would prefer it to be strong as it is now, but generate less money, because more strong options leads to more interesting buys, leads to more interesting decision making, which helps keeps the game fresh. We don't want an overly stagnant meta where only a handful of weapons in each slot are viable, so leaving room for stuff like SMGs to be strong, for all the pistols to be strong, for shotguns to be an option, for the Bringeth to be an option, I think is really important to keeping things fresh and interesting and allowing players to innovate at a high level. But beyond the XM, the other shotguns are just fine. No one's complaining about the Mag 7 and the sawed-off, because honestly the Nova is just strictly better. It may not have the same one-shot distance that those two shotguns have, but the difference in cost does not justify the difference in lethality. The jump from Nova to XM is significant, and that's why a lot of people spam the XM, but the jump from Nova to a sawed-off is negligible. All of this is to say that I am the leader of the Nova cult. You must all join my church. All that I require is that you spam the Nova in every game that you play. Embrace the shotgun, leave the SMG behind, for it is the weapon of the masses and not of the true believers. Anyways, that's all I got about this topic. Let me know in the comments down below, how do you guys feel about shotguns? Are there any other weapon types you feel might be too strong in CS2? Leave them in the comments down below, and maybe I'll talk about it. While you're down there, hit the like button. Do it. Do it now. Do it! And then subscribe. It helps out a lot. Really, it does. Thank you guys so much for the recent support. It means a lot. Follow me on Twitch. All that good stuff. Stay beautiful. Stay classy, San Diego. You have a good day.